Okay, so we're going to be making the GAPS Stage 1 chicken broth, chicken stock today, but of course you could use it on a full GAPS diet also. These are the ingredients. We have a whole chicken cut up, but you could also use extra chicken parts like wings, which really make a nice rich broth. We have about 3 stalks of celery cut up. We have 3 carrots cut up into large pieces. We have 2 onions, or it's 1.5 onions. We have a bunch of parsley, maybe about 10 sprigs. And I have 8 to 12 cups of water. I'll see how much water this takes. Okay, so I'm going to begin by putting my cut up chicken into a big soup pot. Just going to put it into the bottom of the pot here. It really is taking up a good amount of the pot, so I'm not sure how much water we're going to get in. And now I'm going to just pour the water into the pot. And once that's done, I'm going to turn the pot on, bring it to a boil, lower it down a little bit, and I'm going to skim off the foam. Okay, so I'm just going to skim the foam off the chicken right now. Just get as much as you can. When you have to start skimming the foam off the top, you want to lower the soup down a little from a boil, because otherwise it's hard to collect the foam off the top. I'm almost done here getting the foam off. It's looking pretty good. And I just wanted to mention that the reason that you want to use a cut up chicken is because you want whatever nutrients are in the bones to come out into the soup. So if it's a whole chicken, none of the bones have access to the water, and no nutrition is coming out of the bones for the most part. So cut up chicken, very important. I'm going to sprinkle in a tablespoon of salt. This is a mix of a couple of salts, like a Himalayan sea salt and a Himalayan salt and a sea salt. So you might need to add more salt. You can taste it and see what you think. I'm going to add the celery and the onions, parsley, carrots, and this is all going to cook down. Okay, so this is what we want the simmer to look like. I've lowered it down from the boil, and it's just perfect right now. I just want to mention that for the initial GAPS stage, I don't add peppercorns, but you can add about 10 peppercorns in the future when you're on like a full GAPS program. And also the way that my mom taught me to make chicken soup is you add a can of tomato sauce. It makes it really delicious, and it adds the extra nutrition of tomatoes. But for the GAPS stage 1, the initial stages, we're going to leave it without the pepper and without the tomatoes. Now I'm going to just cover, set a simmer, and I'm going to put the cover on. I'm going to leave a little bit of room for the steam to escape. Oops. There we go, just like so. Okay, so I have taken the chicken out of the stock, and I'm going to debone it so we can use the chicken to add to the soup if we'd like, or we can use it for something else, chicken salad or however else you want to use it. So I just pulled, it's best to do this when the chicken is still warm, but it's not hot. I just pulled the skin off and just carefully pulling any bones out. This happens to be a breast piece, so it's very meaty and not that bony. And you can see it's just coming off in chunks, really. And just a couple of bones and a couple of pieces that we want to remove. And that's that. You can store it in a glass container, well covered, until you're ready to use it. Okay, so I'm going to take the stock that's been cooling for about half hour or so, and I'm going to pour it. I happen to have a double strainer here so I can get a nice fine broth. And I'm just going to pour it through into a big bowl and get all that out. Sometimes you can salvage these carrots, oops, because they're just tender and delicious.